Hey boys and girls, welcome to tonight's flip video. Last week you guys had asked me to review math vocabulary, so I went through all the stuff that I have from the state, and I'm just going to go through and do a bunch of vocabulary with you. I do not expect you to write everything down because I have 6 slides of vocabulary. What I do expect you to write down is words that you need help with. Maybe write a sentence. It doesn't necessarily need to be the definition that I have written down for you. At the end, your bring back to school problem will tell you exactly what I do need you to do. So I thought we'd start with the most basic ones. Quotient, product, sum, and difference. These are words that are very, very important because those define our most important topics. So quotient is just division. You're going to see that in 4th grade with whole numbers only. Product is multiplication. In 4th grade, it's only going to be whole numbers. Sum is going to be adding, and you're going to see that with whole numbers. You're going to see that with fractions, and you're going to see that with decimals in 4th grade. And difference just means subtracting. And just like with sum, it's going to be whole numbers, fractions, and decimals. So that's an overview of the 4 most important ones that you're going to see most often. So if there's any of those that you need a refresher on, feel free to write that down. The next 2 are multiple and factors, and those are both related, but I want to make sure that you know the difference between the 2. So a multiple is a numbers that are reached through multiplying a smaller number. So for instance, if we want the multiple of 6, we're going to do 6 times 1, which will give us 6, times 2 will give us 12, times 3 will give us 18, times 4 will give us 24. So all of these are here are the multiples of 6. Multiples are used for making equivalent fractions, adding and subtracting fractions, and just simply if it asks for the LCM. Now on the flip side, the factors are that you start with a larger number, and you're going to it's going to be the numbers that are multiplied to give you those numbers. So for instance, with 24, we have 1, 24, 2, and 12, 3, and 8, 4, and 6. So all of these are factors of 24. Factors are used for when you're trying to find the GCF or when you're trying to simplify things. So those are multiple and factors. So I like to think that multiples are always going to be greater than the number that are given, and the factors are always going to be smaller than the number that are given. So those are 2 very linked but important to remember the difference. Then I've just got a bunch of words here. If something is becoming decreased, it is smaller. But if it's being increased, it's getting bigger. If it's rounding, you just want a number that's close. So like 260 is close to 300 or close to 250. You generally want to use rounding if you're trying to find a number that's easy to work with. Estimation is just like the second form of rounding, where you have, let's say you have 180 plus 210, you might say, that's a little difficult, so I'm just going to round that up to 200 and round that down to 200, and that'll give me 400. Just kind of combining rounding with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and division. And then equivalent just means equal. So you guys know that stuff. These are ones just to review. So if there's anything you need to write down, feel free. So fractions and decimals are all parts of a whole. Fractions, you can express them both the same way. So if we've got a fraction here, we've got a part of a whole, that could be 1/4, or it could be 0.25. Numerator is the top of the fraction, and that's just the parts that are shaded or you have. The numerator, or the denominator, is the bottom of the fraction. That's the total parts, so all total parts. Probability is the chance that something will happen. So if this were a spinner, what's the chance that I would spin that blue section? If you 1/4, this is what I want. This is the total amount, and I can put that in fractions or in words as well. So it is unlikely. iPad's not working great tonight. And then finally, we have the associative property and the inequality. Associative property, as you know, the numbers stay the same, but the parentheses move. So if we have 4 times 3 times 2 on one side, and we have parentheses here, we have 4 times 3 times 2 the numbers stay the same no matter what, but all that moves is the parentheses. You see they're here, here, over here, they move. Equality means both sides are equal. So if we've got 3 times 3, which gives us 9, and 10 minus question mark, well, we need to figure out what gives us that question mark. So I'll just subtract 9 from my 10, give me 1, and that question mark becomes a 1. And then I'll check this. 10 minus 1 is 9. They're equal. So for your bring back to school problem, what I would like you to do is I would like you to choose 3 of those words I just talked about. So you're going to have to probably rewind. Pick 3. Say something you learned or something you still need to learn about. So something about all of those. This will help me understand what you understood out of this video, and it'll help me figure out what I can do to best help you. So 3 things or more. If you already knew everything, then write things that helped you even more. So this is your Bring Back to School problem, and I'll see you in the morning.